What's going on, guys? This is Kaishro. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. So in this video, we're going to cover OCG Metagame Report and deck list reviews for the past week. We do have October 18 to October 23. So we're going to cover topping tournaments from Southeast Asian regions, namely Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, and probably Singapore. So we are going to cover post WPP 2024, and we are going to assimilate what is the impact of that set, whether it is impactful or not that any relevant, no. So without further ado, let's start. So starting off first with the Osiris Duelist tournament. First would be Ryzil, probably the best deck out there, no? It is clear cut the tier 1 deck to play, and there's not many decks that could contest them at that place. The only decks that could topple them on that tier list would be Malice and potentially Memento Atlan. So right now, Ryzil is definitely looking to be the clear-cut best deck, and people have recognized that. That's why Ryzel is like 30% on the previous Road of the King report, no? So even on the biggest regions in OCG, they are convinced that Ryzel is the best deck. And looking on our list, it is very evident. It has multiple starters, multiple rooms for an engine, and a very recognizable turn one board. And next would be Voices Voice, another deck that is pretty solid right now. It is really strong on the sense that it is very consistent and many people are still clinging on the deck because it is very convenient, very easy to use, and also very much budget friendly compared to other options out there now. Next would be Branded 60. So 60 Branded is the iteration of Azamina into the deck, and we often see it with board breakers like Book of Eclipse and Trust and Talent with Droplet. And next would be Tenpai Dragon. So Tenpai Dragon, this deck was on and off on the previous metagame because post ban list it lost the to Chundra and it rattled the consistency, but it is still okay. I think Tenpai Dragon is still up there on the best decks. Next would be Bogor Duelist community tournament. First would be Tenpai Dragon. Tenpai Dragon usually bolsters the usage of the draw power like Maxi and Purulia, and paired with the board breakers like Lightning Storm and Droplet. And next would be Eldritch Stun. So yeah, and yeah, I think this is for AE, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's for AE. Yeah, for AE. Next would be Evo-Community tournament. So Evo-Community tournament, first would be Labyrinth, Ryzil. I think this deck could function because you could potentially turbo out the Detonator and just sit on that, no? Similar to the previous Zodiac Eldritch before that ends on rank 4 toolbox and still has options to go second with Zeus and Exiton, but this time it only plays Exiton. And next would be, oh, we still have one. Yeah, we do have Naturia Horus. This deck is still comfortable in the meta due to the Naturia Beast. Naturia Beast is very much played and very obnoxious to deal against. Next would be Paduka tournament in Indonesia. First would be Snake Eyes. I think Snake Eyes is still up there. I do believe that other decks are much better than them, but you cannot count them out. It is still too early, and they're still going to get more supports from the following sets because the storyline is not finished yet. And next, moving on, we do have Malice. So Malice, it played that trio of Bestial. It is very much played on everyone's Malice main deck. I think that's the standard right now. And next would be Dynamorphia. So Dynamorphia, a very odd deck, no? We often see them as a rogue deck, but on the previous week of October, week 1, I guess, or last week of the September, I do believe that Dynamorphia with Ryuge is a tier 4 deck, and many Japanese releases have claimed that. But for me, I don't really see it as a de facto to place Dynamorphia as a tier deck right now. I do believe that the deck is still strong, but it definitely struggles on the time rules issues of the game. And moving on, we do have Kediri, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. First would be Ryzil from Fajar. So it played Droplet. It is often played with Droplet because of the weak going second prowess of Ryzil. They would often rely on talent, for example, no, droplet to break the boards of your opponent, and things like droll and Foalos to stop the opponent from comboing off. And next would be Ryzil. So Ryzil with 3 Foalos and 3 droplet. And next would be Yaslam, Dragon Link. So Dragon Link 50, no? Quite odd considering that Dragon Link often plays 40 or 60 depending on the engine. But yeah, it is still solid at 50, I think. Next would be Hakim, Voices Voice. Third, Voices Voice in our report already or second? So Voices Voice is a very popular deck in Southeast Asian regions due to the affordability of the deck and the accessibility. It is potentially second or third most popular deck before the DBCB format after the Tenpai Dragon and Snake Eyes. And next, we do have Yu-Gi-Oh! Tulangung Yuto tournament. Champion would be Sword Soul. Yeah, Sword Soul with a huge engine. I believe this is playing the new support of the Sword Soul. They have legalized it for the tournament, the new 10 new support, no? If I'm not seeing things mistakenly, I believe this is a advanced format. And next would be Horustan. So Horustan, definitely a deck that could still limit the people from playing the game. Imagine that Border, Vanity, and Majesty's Fin, no? All of those, and paired with Aman Ewato, they can literally halt anyone, except for this time matchup as well. But this deck is really pesky, and if you go unprepared against the deck, you will definitely lose. Next would be Voices Voice. So third place Voices Voice, it played the Dogmatica engine. So with Nadir, you are able to dump the Garura and you are able to get the uh, Maximus and you potentially get +3 or +4, even +4 with Shurig if you're playing the Shurig and DD Crow engine. But right now, I think this is really solid for this build. And next would be Sky Striker, a very surprising deck in the modern format. I haven't expected that Sky Striker will be able to compete against the format. And looking on this list, it is very much inspired from Ryan Yu Sky Striker from the recent second place stopping YCS, I believe, from Ryan Yu without much hand traps into the main deck. No. So Board Breaker going second, Sky Striker definitely a deck to look out for. And next would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Manado community. So first would be branded. So branded 4-0, not bad. It went 44 cards. Yeah, not too shabby. Still okay with 44. Next would be Gimmick Puppet. So Gimmick Puppet is a deck that is very weird. I think many people are really pestered when they're seeing Gimmick Puppet because of the FTK shenanigans of the deck. And you cannot blame them. I believe this is a very toxic and unhealthy deck. And most people would want it to be addressed by the next ban list this coming December. And next would be Malice. So Malice with, yeah, Parallel Exceed. Double Parallel only, no? And didn't play Allure. Next would be ITS, Foreign Language Society Tournament. First would be Melodious. So Melodious is a deck that is very flexible into the metagame. Lots of room for non-engines. You are able to play Fualos, Droll, Nibiru, Ghost Ogre, for example, no, and you have space for talent and such. So it is a very spacious deck and very comfortable deck to play. And next would be Mementotlan, probably the third best deck out there in terms of results and ratio on the previous Road of the King results. So I think Mementotlan is a deck that should be respected. If you don't really respect the Mementotlan, you will definitely struggle around this deck and you don't know what to choke and what to interrupt with them. You're going to struggle very bad against this deck. And next would be, what is this? Raid Raptor. Yeah, Raid Raptor. I believe this is Raid Raptor and it played the Crawler, the new quick play that is played for Flandris previously from the TCG region. So I think it could work, yeah. It is a good boost from the WPP. And next would be Whitewoods, Azamina. Oh, no Azamina. Whitewoods only with toy box. Wow, interesting. This is really interesting. Yeah, it played double Dark Cooler No More and one Nibiru. And moving on next, we do have Rogue's Passage Tournament. First would be Malice. Yeah, Malice from Kit, Jeremy David. Pretty standard. Yeah, it played one Flawless into the main deck and two Flawless and two Purulia into the side deck. Yeah, very much a linear deck build, but very functional. Next would be Ryzel from Ronil. So it played the Sakitama. Even though you're already playing 7 Tachyon, some people prefer to play Sakitama so that they have extenders. If they get a hand trap, for example, or their duo drive gets punished for something, no? So I think this is also a good backup option. And moving on next, we do have Anymember weekly tournament. First would be Exo Sister, really underrated, no? So if you don't have budget to play Ryzil, and another rank 4 deck that is viable right now would be Exo Sister, able to hold the graveyard and also answer the meta decks from the banish effects of Eternia and Magnifica. Next would be Labyrinth, 40 card, yeah, short and concise, pretty standard. It played triple backjack, no? And I think it's a very spicy deck here. And next would be Tenpai Dragon, triple Regeki, and double Change of Heart. Next would be Timewalk tournament. First would be Tri Brigade Fire King. So Tri Brigade Fire King, a deck that could surprise people off guard, considering that the deck has so much gas and can go comfortably going second. And on top of that, you're going to have very good resilience on this deck with the pops of our king from the Grunix and also the Ponix resilience and also the crawlers. It even play the crawlers now. And the Viking Island, of course, you have a lot of intangibles to make your Tri Brigade plays using the Kit and Nerval and Keras, no? So yeah, this is really okay. And next would be Ritual Beast. Ritual Beast with double shifter, of course, and Nemesis Engine. So you could potentially make the Protoss and halt the light and other stuff in the meta. And next would be Unchained. Unchained with Finsmith, of course. Yeah, it also played one Flawless into the main deck. Probably a good cross-out target. And next would be Goblin Biker. Wow, Goblin Biker, interesting. But Goblin Biker is proven to be very strong against the Ryzel format. You're able to detach materials from the Ryzel matchup, and you can interrupt them during their turn, and they would be rendered with few resources or sometimes no resources on their board. And next would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Metagame Malang. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Metagame Malang, it played Jubel as the champion. Even though this deck was rattled from the previous ban list, I think you could potentially still play Yubel, but you are going to miss out some consistency pieces, and the overall resilience of the deck is guttered by the ban list. And next would be Chimera from Ananda Denito. So it played the Fright Fur package with Azamina, and only one Fright Fur package spell, but it played Double Edge Imp, yeah. And next would be third place Voices Voice, bunch of Voices Voice in our part, no? And it plays Super Poly into the main deck. Interesting choice. You're able to make a bunch of what is this? A bunch of fusion targets here for the Voices Voice player. Yeah, this is really interesting. Next would be Phantom Knights Danger. This is on an old version of Phantom Knights. It didn't even play the Adventurer. And next would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Davao Mindanao Gaming. First would be Chimera from Prime Cruise. So pretty standard. It played the DPE engine, Fusion Destiny. I see. You are definitely cooking on this deck with the DPE engine. Next would be Supreme King Melodious. Yeah, interesting. It played the Melodious and the Supreme King cards in here, and it also played some Draco Slayer package. And moving on next, we do have Azrak online tournament, the biggest online tournament platform in EDIP Pro in the Philippines. We do have Kit Jeremy David Malis, so he's definitely successful on Malis on the previous tournament iterations in the Philippines, and he proved it in a very big tournament like Azrak. And next would be Alfred Zamora, the Scarecrow Master in the Philippines. He can definitely play the deck even he is asleep or he's unconscious. That's how the mastery of Alfred on this deck can be, and it is really frightening. He is topping tournaments left and right with a very unconventional Scarecrow. And next would be Chimera Finsmith from Anan. It played the triple Eclipse into the main deck, really solid against the Ryzel matchup. And next would be Tenpai Dragon from John Marvin. So yeah, standard, but it is playing the new innovation on Tenpai Dragon with the Mass Dragon, and Mass Dragon can be crashed on opponent's monster, for example, and you're able to search off any Tenpai names on this. So it is basically a suicidal Chundra. And next would be Blue Eyes from Rallion. So Triple Dominus Purge, it has been a thing for Blue Eyes for quite some time now. I believe people have been integrating the Dominus Purge for Blue Eyes. Next would be Ryzil, top 8. It is playing Contaxia on the side deck. Wow. To answer the potentially Ryzil matchup. And this is spicy, it is playing Toy Box and a Utopia engine. Wow. Hold on. This is cookery. Yeah, this is something else. Next would be Joshua Coriano, my friend from Ogre Duelist. So with Ryzil, he's playing Sharks, and it enables him to be more expressive on his rank 4 plays using the Shark package. And I think this is a really solid build to be played if you're trying to integrate the Ryzil into a different variant like the Sharks or like earlier the Utopia engine. And next would be Darwin, Tenpai Dragon. So Tenpai Dragon is definitely a deck that should be respected in the Philippines. It is a deck that could be potentially more pivotal and also more popular than the Ryzil. You couldn't imagine how many Tenpai players are there in the Philippines. And I think Tenpai Dragon as a deck is very successful in this region, especially in the Philippines. And next would be Ryuge Prank Kids. So with Prank Kids, I think it is a signature deck from Kirk, and now this time he is playing the Ryuge engine. So with Ryuge, you are able to make a pseudo Macrocosmos or a live Shen on your side of the board, and you could limit the graveyard options of your opponent. And next would be Heroes from my friend Edison Kurameng. So 45 card hero, no? It is not even playing the new support from Suda, and we are going to see whether the Suda support of Vision Hero and Evil Heroes would make an impact on an already interesting heroes. And next would be Banjo with branded Despia 60. It played a bunch of hand traps. It even played the Shadal Fusion, Fusion Destiny, branded Fusion, and all of the fusion things in the world. It is played with Banjo's 60 card tier elements with Shadal. Oh my goodness, this is really crazy. He is definitely cooking on this deck. And yeah, it played grass, of course, because of the 60 version of the deck. And next would be Dinosaur from Austin. So displayed didn't play Ryuge. This is quite something different. Most often than not, the Dino are playing the Ryuge engine. But yeah, it could still work without the Ryuge. And next would be Voices Voice from Janmark Chavagat. I think Voices Voice is the second most popular deck in the Philippines. Counting out the Ryzil, for example, not many people can afford the Ryzil, so they're going to uh, play Voices Voice if they're not going to play Tenpai Dragon. And next would be Memento Outland from Marlon. So Marlon with Memento Outland played 41 card, quite extensive, but it is very functional. You could see on this deck list, I played double Droll and double Foalos, and also a double Cosmic Cyclone, yeah, to respect the back row. And next would be Malice from Darwin, double Gold Sark, a huge boost for Malice. And next would be Voices Voice once again, very popular deck in the Philippines. Nothing to say too much about this. And next would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Davao Mindanao Gaming. First would be Mentatlan from Allen. Standard, yeah. And next would be Blue Eyes White Dragon from Aldwin. And next would be Dueling Nexus from Malaysia or Thailand. Yeah, Malaysia, I believe. And next would be Champion Keong or Kong with voice, a lot of voice in our report, and it is definitely a thing to consider if you're playing in Southeast Asian regions. Most people would love to combat the metagame here, but they can be surprised with the plethora of voice, 10 dragon, and you won't see much Ryzils here or Malis. And next would be Chihim with Snake Eyes, no? Farking. Probably a really solid way to play Snake Eyes. Next would be Naturia. Yeah, Naturia Ragnareka with Insect Pile, yeah. Yeah, really spicy from Nick. And next would be, what is this? Kashtira, Tenyi with Young Zing. So 60 card good stuff basically, no? Wow, this is spicy. Yeah, I am trying to comprehend the deck list, but it is really complex. It is playing Kashtira, Sword Soul, Tenyi, even freaking Kashtira, and also the Nemesis engine. Wow, this is like a blast from the Adventurer Brave Tenyi, no? From before. And next, and yeah, that sums up our OCG metagame report from Southeast Asian regions from October 18 to October 23. So if you found this video informative and helpful, please consider subscribing into my YouTube channel. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.